Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 589. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Zellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week on the Free Cheese, we are bringing Season 12 to its end. In the first of our two episodes, we will revisit the list and uphold our new annual tradition of seeing what happens when we apply math to generate our list instead of simply following our instincts during the ranking. We will then take a look at what happens when science ranks the list, get an alternate look yet again. Next week, we'll talk all about our favorite games from 24, some of the news and trends from 2024, and come back with all of those things to close out. But first, Matt, what game from a previous season did you miss playing the most this year?
Game from a previous season that I missed playing this year.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I know.
I don't know. I need to refer back to the list quickly that I don't have open because I thought I was done with it.
You can visit the list over
that
at
is the wrong
freecheese.com/the list.
Shit.
And you can see all of the games that we've ranked and reviewed over the last few years since Season 10. Matt, here's a few options just to give you some to choose from. Blinx the Time Sweeper.
No.
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Deadly Premonition. Disaster Report 4, Summer Memories.
Oh, I think the answer is the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah.
I'm like really sad that I've done pretty much everything I can do to that game.
Yeah, because you're full platinum on that one too, right?
Platinum. The only thing, I don't think I can have all the trophies for Separate Ways. So I could go back to that. But yeah, that core campaign was a lot of fun. The Platinum Chase was also a lot of fun. I remember talking about that at length last year.
There's one more thing you could do. There's no trophies attached to it, but you could pick up a VR2 and play it in
I had
virtual...
a feeling you were going to say that. Yeah, for the price of what I have already.
Yeah, that's fair. Village was fun in VR, but no trophies deterred me.
I was actually thinking about maybe going, like this itch, maybe going back to Village because it's been so long now at this point. Just replaying through that. I think my save's right before you know where too, so beautifully placed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what one I missed a lot this year that I started to get the itch for toward the back half of this year? Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Because I realized when we ranked that and did that episode, I was having weird save stuff, and I never finished that one. And I feel like with Delta on its way, maybe I should finish... I know I don't need to, but maybe I should go through... Because I really had a great time with 1 when I played that in the lead up to 2. I was missing that one. I think especially...
I'll let you know, it took me about a month and a half to 2 months to go through all the Solids and Peace Walker, if you want to go that route.
It's good to do... Man, when I did that with Halo, it was a good feeling, I'll tell you what. So, this year, Season 12, 2024, we added... Do you know how many games we added to the list, Matt?
It's like 38?
Close. 39 games to the list, reaching a total of 120 games ranked so far.
Oh, I think Ring Fit's the one I didn't think of.
Yeah, that's... Many of these, we recorded full or multi-part episodes to discuss and rank. A few of these games were games that we played during streams throughout 2024. You can check all those archives out on the website if you want to watch us play some Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo games. We also brought 4 games to the list this year with the intention of dethroning Wii Sports from the number 1 spot where it sat for almost 3 years, and we did, in fact, knock it from the top. not far from the top, but far.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. At the close of Season 12's rankings, our top 10 games are, from 10 up, Street Fighter VI, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, South Park: The Fractured But Whole, WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Halo Combat Evolved, Quake, Wii Sports, Tetris Effect Connected, and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Of the new top 10 at the end of the season, only 4 of these were on the list in a previous season. So we added 6 games to the top 10 this season alone. We also recorded some special episodes this year. We dedicated an entire episode to the arcade. We shared our personal histories with the arcade. We looked at the current state of arcades and reported back live from a visit to an arcade. We highlighted Digimon. We raised a few monsters of our own. We talked about the history of virtual pets in that episode. Spent an entire episode covering Salty Bet, the Mugen-based fighter that lets you bet on computer matches that happened live on the internet. Of course, more recently, we also dedicated an episode to ranking the games that we streamed this year, highlighting our personal histories with Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. We celebrated the 30th anniversary of PlayStation just last week, or 2 weeks ago. And last week, we discussed what it was like for us to purchase PSP and Xbox in January for the first time, and what spending a year with both of those consoles played out for Matt and I, respectively. Looking at the games we played this year, do you have a favorite?
You know, like, not critically, just good time from point A to point B. It probably is South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, that's up there for me too. I don't know if I have a favorite. That's a tough one. Had some surprises. We'll talk surprises. Is Zone of the Enders maybe my one? Might be Zone of the Enders. I think mostly because it was surprising. I didn't know what to expect from that, and I had a great time with it. So it might be that. Were there any games we played that you felt disappointed with, or anything that didn't live up to your expectations?
Gravity Rush.
Yeah,
Gravity Rush.
That was
what a
time.
Ugh. Never so mad to see it. Oh, sorry. I was never so mad to see an open world happen in a game.
That's what I was going to ask, because it was the open world nature of that really killed it. Other than that, I don't remember. Little Big Planet, going back to that one, was rougher
yeah,
than
but
anticipated.
I also know that we didn't hit the proper timing on that for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So like, part of me understands what that could have been if played.
Yeah, but it just wasn't. It's also like playing the PS3 today is not. It's doable, but it's not the most straightforward. And we talked about that with our History of PlayStation episode, where it's just like how tough it is to go backwards sometimes when everything is so fast and neat now. Yeah. Not a lot else like really let me down. Jet Grind Radio got really tough by the end, but that was not necessarily that. Or, its fault. Yeah. Is there one, conversely, that you thought you were going to hate, but you ended up liking a lot?
Not because I thought I was going to hate it. I didn't know what to expect. But the Guardian Legend, I think, was a very nice surprise, because I did have fun. I did end up beating it, but because that game gets incredibly hard. But I did enjoy the challenge and playing through what I did.
I agree. Yeah, Guardian Legend was the one for me where I kind of knew just from seeing it before, but I didn't play any of it. I didn't know how it was going to play out, and it was surprisingly really, really fun.
I'm also going to say Outrun, because I didn't know how many runs I would end up doing of that game. I thought, like, I would do 5. It'd be, maybe not 5, but, like, just get enough to do the episode. But, like, I ended up getting invested in, like, trying to hit the entire coast, and I would do a few runs a day. Yeah, it became a thing for a bit in the build up to that episode.
Device 6 was another one for me, where we had both played that prior to this, but never finished it. And going back and actually that was enjoyable time. How well do you think we captured a variety of games this season?
I think we did good.
I think so too, man.
I mean, it's going to be better in Season 13. I tanked us there, but this season was really good, I think.
No, I agree. Like, I came into this, my intention was to not repeat platforms where I could and offer up a good spread, and you kind of did that inherently without even knowing my intentions for building my half of the list. Yeah, I thought we had a really, really good balance overall. What do you think was the best game that we played in Season 12?
I gotta stick to number 1, I think. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Pure gameplay. The amount of game that game has, and it just stays consistently good throughout. Yeah, I talked about it, but, like, that's, like, I can see me picking up that game at some point in the near future to finish up the stars just to do it, because I want to keep playing it at some point. So, yeah, I mean, Tetris Effect is what it is, but it is what it is. It's a great, perfect masterpiece experience, but it is what it is. Mario just kind of keeps going and going and going and going and going, and it's still good. Like, it doesn't let up on the attention to detail and how awesome that game plays.
Yeah, and I think that's why we ended up landing it at the top. It made sense. It really is that good. And it's one that we do this when we rank things, where some separation from the actual ranking. Sometimes I'm like, did we make the right call? And, like, the further we've gotten away from it, the more I've felt stronger about where we landed on that. So, do you think we had one episode that was stronger than another? Or if not, was there one episode that you feel was more fun or most fun to record?
I mean, our you have it labeled here as our commencement episode, but our predictions episode is always a whirlwind of an episode of hopes and dreams. But in terms of, like, stuff specific to the season, I feel like I have one and I missed it. I like I did like the surprise reader.
Yeah.
Listener submission. That was nice to like. I mean, it was one. We kind of knew about going into the season, but it was nice to be like, hey, someone threw this out there for us to play. It was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then, oh my god, I was gonna say something else and I forgot that fast. I think the stream at Batman was more fun than anything, than the actual episode itself. But playing through Batman, doing the race was fun.
Yeah, we did that for those who missed it, the 35th anniversary of Batman the movie. We played Batman the video game. We did an episode on it, and the night before the episode went live, we raced one another through the game to see who could get to the ending first. And man, that I had a good lead, and then I just ate it, and you took off. I had a lot of fun with the Digimon stuff in the lead up to it, like tinkering with it. I know that was, like, short-lived, but that was a fun, like, weird. It was nice to, like, come into an episode with the same mindset of recording what we record, but having done a lot different prep work for it. Like, the approach to the episode prior to recording was weird and different. Salty Bet also. That was another one where like sitting down and just watching matches for a couple of weeks, making bets, losing fake bet salt money. That was a good time. Is there an episode or a game that left the greatest impact on you in season 12?
Jeez, what a question. The greatest impact. Yeah. No. I that's a cop out, but no, not really.
Yeah, no, it's more the games themselves.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's like I'm shocked by how good some games are. I'm disappointed by how bad some games turned out to be when not expecting it. Yeah, but like, you know, like the shocks of like how we both just agreed that like South Park, like that game, like I don't know, like that's probably not hitting a lot of top 10 video games ever, but the fact that like we both just agreed is like it does what it does so flawlessly and it's hilarious and it deserves the recognition it deserves. That, you know, this moments like that are fun, but nah, as far as an impactful episode, I don't know about that one.
Last question about the season before we start getting into some weirdo list shenanigans. Which episode or game from season 12 directly influenced a choice you made for season 13's games next year? You don't need to reveal the game to the public unless you want to, but...
The month of October.
The whole month?
Yeah.
For the listeners not looking, it's Fear Effect Ib, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, and Uninvited. Left a stark impression on Matt. I didn't have those 4, but of the other 4, I did Super Mario Galaxy 2 directly influenced one game on my list. Halo Combat Evolved directly influenced one game on my list. And Pokemon Gold, Silver, in a way, influenced one. It was one that I was kind of going to put on the list anyway, but it was, yeah. It's been a fun season, though, and I'm always looking forward to what's next, but looking back for a minute, played a lot of cool games that I hadn't thought of before. It seems like we've got a lot of weird, cool games lined up for next year, so it's never going to stop. Now, the next segment is designed to help us in looking at the list a bit differently. We have 2 approaches here, math and science. First, we'll use math and recalculate our list rankings based on the review scores that we gave to each game. We, in doing this, re-ranked everything to see where it would lie on the list. Later, we'll look at a scientific ranking approach using a voting tool created to pit each game against one another until each of us individually created our own versions of the list. So looking at math first, we set up a new column in our ranking system just to explain how the math works, because the math gets a little stupid. Our ranking system, it's a little all over the place. The first season we did this, we were on a 10.5 star rating scale. Now we're on a 20.10 numbered rating scale with half points in between. So a new column accounts for the 5-star reviews and the 10-point reviews. Another column converts those values into percentages based on the season in which they were reviewed, allowing us to weigh everything together. I then sort the list by those percentages, and voila, now we have a new magically ranked list. Matt, if you're looking at it, pause.
I was not.
All right.
Yes, okay.
Good.
I've learned.
Yeah. Got some questions here for you. So, there were, by doing this via math, so what we'll do in this segment is we'll talk about some of the significant jumps, the changes in the list, and I'll see if Matt can guess at some of the new placements in the list. So there were 46 games that moved fewer than 5 places on the list. Of those, 4 did not move at all. Can you guess which games stayed exactly where they were?
No idea. Blinks.
Blinks, yes, stayed at number 120. Blinks the Time Sweeper is still the bottom of the list. Going up from there, Cool Spot remained at 118, NBA Hang Time remained at 111, and ESPN NFL Football remains at 89. We had 14 games that moved greater than 20 positions on the list. One of these climbed 35 spots to reach a new high of 18, while another saw the most significant change of 41 places, reaching a new low of 65. Which games on the list do you think had the biggest changes?
Does Metal Gear make the jump?
It does not make the jump, but it is another Matt Sellner favorite.
Parasite Eve.
No.
Wow. Dang, that's good scores too. Man, I don't. Double Dash is the same score essentially.
Double Dash is correct. Right now it's at 53 on the list, but with math, it climbs to 18, getting it in the top 20. Downwell falls the farthest, from 24 to 65.
Jesus, and that really went down the well.
Hey. And X-Men 2 Clone Wars fell from 61 to 94. Those are the biggest changes. Last year, Guitar Man climbed from 36 to 16, while this year it moved from 52 to 25. Similarly, Eco fell from 6 to 24 last year, and this year from 12 to 36. Just some interesting shakeups. All right. Our new top 10, based on the math. Any guesses?
It could be Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect is our new number 1. The new number 2, based on math, is Wii Sports, Hotline Miami, Halo Combat Evolved, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. WWF No Mercy takes the number 5 spot. Or is that 6? 5? 6. Super Mario Galaxy 2 at 7. Quake at 8. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed at 9. And WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games at 10. How about the bottom 10? You already know Blinks is at the very bottom. What else do you think? It's hanging out in the bottom 10.
Just trying to look at some scores here on the OG list. Does Top Gear Rally fall enough?
It does
right
not.
There.
It does not.
Right there. I'm just trying to think what tanked up top here. It has to stay relatively the same because the drop off is like not like a third of the way down. The drop off is like right at this area.
Yeah, the scores are pretty accurate to where our hearts lie and lay. But
there might be a shakeup within it, but I'm going to say our original 120 through 111 it's pretty much untouched.
I'd have to look at it specifically.
I can name you the games. Look at the original list.
It is actually pretty close. So, actually, you know what's funny? Top Gear Rally is 110, but I'm only looking at 111 through 120. So, yeah, you did have that. The bottom 10, working our way up from Blinks. It's Blinks, Lifeline, Cool Spot, WWF Betrayal, Halloween, Gauntlet, Seven Sorrows, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, Paperboy 2, ESPN, NFL Football, and NBA. I'm sorry, no. ESPN, X Games Skateboarding, and NBA Hang Time.
Yeah, I think WWF Betrayal is the one that joins that party.
Yeah. Can you guess which game is now directly in the middle of the list?
Devil's Crush.
It is Windjammers 2, seated just between Sweet Home and Game Dev Story. Speaking of Devil's Crush, our former North Star of the list finished Season 12 at 91. After some mathematic re-ranking, what number do you think it sits at?
72. No, that would be
very close. 79. Mathematically and naturally, the way we did it, which Season 12 game do you think ranked the lowest?
Season 12 game. Oop, I clicked at the wrong. I didn't look. I clicked the wrong tab. Gosh. Nightmare.
It is not Nightmare. Shout out to the MSX.
Not Digimon, is it?
It's not Digimon. I don't think we ranked Digimon, did we?
Did we?
I don't.
No, we didn't. No, I think we just did the Digimon episode. Sorry. Oh no, is it Gravity Rush?
It is not Gravity Rush. It's actually, this is kind of a trick question. It's Halo Fireteam Raven, which we kind of incidentally added to the list. We didn't really have Fireteam Raven as like a here's what we're gonna do.
Yes, yeah.
That's the lowest.
Did we rank Bomberman the arcade game?
No, we should have. It would be the new 120 or 121.
I think it would be.
That is the worst game I played this year. Maybe not. Stay tuned for next week to find out the worst game I played this year. But it was pretty bad. Other than that, I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of crazy movement in the list. It's, some jumps here and there, but largely our heart matches the math. But does it match the science? We'll find out. So, our scientific method individually determines our own personal reworkings of the list. You too, listener, can play along at home if you would have been dying to create your own version of the list. thefreecheese.com/listvoting.html will get you there. If you do play along, please take a screenshot of your completed list or any of the battles along the way that you struggled with. Share it in the comments section on the website or email us podcast@thefreecheese.com. If you've not seen this before, it is a recreation of a project from over a decade ago that let users vote using the GameFAQs list of 128 games voted as best game ever. Our version lets you vote using our list of 120 games that we've ranked over the last 3 seasons. It asks you to choose which game you like better in a series of head-to-head matchups, and once you've voted on every possible combination, you'll be gifted with your very own version of the list. Matt and I will go back and forth to share some of the games ranked for us individually, where they ranked individually, I should say, and we'll make sure that our lists are embedded with this podcast post on thefreecheese.com. So, with that, Matthew, let's talk bottom 10. What are your bottom 10?
I'll work my way down.
All right.
At 111, I have Rogue.
Ooh.
At 112, Top Gear Rally.
Mm-hmm.
113, Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. 114, WWF Betrayal. 115, Nightmare.
Ooh.
116, Halloween. Somehow, someway, at 117, Lifeline.
Oh.
It's above games. Somehow. 118 is ESPN X Games Skateboarding. 119 is Cool Spot. And the bottom dweller, as always, Blinks the Time Sweeper.
We had a lot of crossover. I had Cool Spot, Rogue, NHL Stanley Cup, Resident Evil Gaiden, Chameleon Twist 2, Gauntlet 7 Sorrows, ESPN X Games Skateboarding, WWF Betrayal, Super Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and then Halloween. Which is funny. I remember last year those were flip-flopped. I noticed that a lot this year. Did you catch any of that in your, maybe if your memory was still there? Like,
I don't, my memory's not there.
I definitely saw some things in my like top 10 that I was like, ooh, I don't remember. I had these things somewhere completely different last year. I guess, speaking of which, let's look at top 10. I'll go 10 up. Burnout 3 Takedown, my number 10. Resident Evil 4 from 2023, my number 9. 8 is Quake. 7 Pokemon Gold and Silver. 6 WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games. 5 Wii Sports. 4 Super Mario Galaxy 2. 3 Tetris Effect Connected. 2 Halo Combat Evolved. And number 1, can you guess it?
Wii Sports?
That was number 5.
I'm sure you say that. Oh, sorry. No, I'm missing it. Sorry.
2 years in a row. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Oh, right. No,
Something
sorry.
about the
When you were
science.
saying, I was trying to see some of the differences in real time, and I realized I probably should have done that.
No, I'm curious to hear what you had. Go from 10 up.
All right, at number 10, I have Res Infinite.
Mm.
Number 9, Parasite Eve. Number 8, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Perfect.
Sons of Liberty works his way up finally. 7, Quake 2. 6, Quake. 5, Tetris Effect Connected. 4, the Resident Evil 4 remake from 2023. 3, Undertale. 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And number 1 is our number 1 game, Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Wow. I was, I had some weirdos, man. Like, Disaster Report 4 is at 17 for me, naturally. But Sonic Spinball's right below it at 18, with Devil's Crush at 19. Where's Devil's Crush on your list?
Sorry, at 70.
Oh, wow. We know Blinks is at the bottom. What is your Windjammers 2? AKA, which game is right dead in the middle at number 60?
Sweet Home. So, not too far from where it is on the re-rank.
Weirdly enough, mine is Undertale. And Sweet Home is 54 for me. And you had Undertale was your 3, right?
Yeah.
And all of our top 5, are they all in your top 10? Mario, Tetris, Wii Sports, Quake, and Halo?
Halo is not. Halo and Wii Sports isn't either.
Wow.
Halo's 23. And then Wii Sports is 17.
Wow. Anything else from the top 10 make it in a weird spot for you on the list?
So Pokemon falls just, again, I've talked at length, just not my cup of tea. It doesn't fall terribly, but it is 38 on my list. I guess that is pretty bad. Now,
Parasite Eve ended up at my 38, which I'm surprised by.
Huh.
But Parasite Eve is just above Ape Escape for me.
I would say, shocker, Double Dash, only 56.
Wow, Double Dash made it to 30 for me, dude.
Yeah.
I've been playing more Double Dash recently, so I think it's starting to creep up. There's a couple of these old games we have on the list that I've like revisited here and there, and I'm like, nah, do we need to re-rank this whole list? It's for a different season.
Where'd you put Tears of the Kingdom at?
Ooh, that better be low. It's not. It's 43. Right.
I had it at 22.
22. It's right below Guitar Man and right above Device 6.
I have it right above Halo, but right underneath the Pikmin.
Yeah, that fits. Pikmin 3 is my number 13. That one's up
21.
There.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. 21.
I don't remember the other, like, big
I would say the biggest climb for me is probably ESPN NFL football. I actually gave respect to it. Is that 14 on my list?
Every time it came up, I thought about how we did that game wrong, but it still landed in my 103, which puts it below Slugfest and PsyOps: The Mindgate Conspiracy. Blinks ended up at 107 for me, dude.
Lifeline should be below it, right?
No, Lifeline's 100. Every time Lifeline like went up against something, I was like, no, I think I like Lifeline better than that. Happened a few times. Just kept seeing it like, no, it kind of worked. Where is Halo Fireteam Raven on your list?
Oof.
I know.
108.
Okay, we were close. I was 105. 108 for me was Fear Effect. Where'd Fear Effect land for you?
Oh, I think that's higher on my list. Somewhere. Oh, never mind. It's 69.
All right. Hey, my 69 is Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, which surpasses NBA Hang Time but falls short to Super Strike Eagle. Pretty good. I'm curious, where did Sonic Spinball land for you?
46.
Okay, not bad.
And then Frontiers is 6 and on top of that, 40.
Nice. It's pretty good. Ib fell quite a bit for me. Actually, I don't remember where we have it on our regular list, but Ib is number 90. 91 for me.
Oh, I'm 31 for me.
I think it's 73 on our regular list.
I guess I had a big shake-up.
Yeah, it was a little different.
I somehow put Deadly Premonition higher. It's at 32 on my list.
I feel like Deadly Premonition fell quite a bit from 47. But this one's a fun one to do. Listeners, if you've not done this and you're at all curious, I recommend it. Even if you haven't played a lot of these games, like it's fun to just do the voting to see kind of what ends up head to head and make you choose between one or the other. You can also pretty easily steal the code from the webpage, and it's pretty straightforward to find in the HTML where I edit the game list. So if you want to build your own and do it, you can do that. And if you do it and post it somewhere, send it to us. podcast@thefreecheese.com. And we'll vote on your weirdo list too. Why not? This one's fun. We've got plenty more nonsense planned for the list next year. Right now, we have probably about the same number of games planned to be added. Maybe just a few shy, but I imagine we'll end up. We might do a bit more. We'll bring this episode to a close here in a few before we kick you to next week to come back and hear about the games we didn't talk about on podcast this year. But while we have you here for some podcast news and updates, Season 13 will kick off with the first Monday of 2025. Of course, we'll do our annual prediction show. We'll look back at what we got right and wrong from Season 12, or 2024, I should say. We'll make some new predictions. It's always it's our favorite episode of the year. And then we'll kick things right off the week after that with our first game of Season 13. And what will it be? Oh, I wonder. Keep an eye out on thefreecheese.com for what those are. We should have a good slate published for you by the time the first of the year drops. You should be able to see what the upcoming schedule looks like and what you should expect to play along at home if you'd like to. We do have some gaps in next year's schedule. So if there's a game that's relatively short that you would like to nominate, we play and rank for an episode, write in podcast@thefreecheese.com. If it works and it's not something we're already covering and it's short enough that we can squeeze it in one of these off weeks, you might just get your game on the list. That's how I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream ended up on the list this year. Take some time and do that. Otherwise, we will close it there. Check the website if you want to see the full re-rankings of the list based on Matt and I doing science. And next week, come back and hang out with us to talk about our favorites of 2024, the news of 2024, and everything else. Until then, thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Bye.